What's up and welcome back to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. Of course, I am Tim Geddes and I'm joined by the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Good morning, Timothy.
I'm feeling really good because it's not 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In another world, a world that in most ways I'd rather be in, we would be in this studio at 6 a.m. reacting to the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. I'd be wearing my Miami Vice jacket for
hot.
that.
Audio listeners, I'm sure you can still see it somehow.
It's very loud. That's how loud it is, yes. But I didn't get to wear it yesterday because the GTA trailer just dropped out of nowhere, leaking first.
Right.
Then we reacted to it. The world is in a tizzy, in a chaos. How are you in a post-GTA 6 trailer world?
It feels good. It feels good. I've still been kind of scrolling through the footage, trying to find out if there's anything new that I can see or anything interesting. It's exciting. And then I got kind of bummed out by some of the devs' tweets talking about, like, man, we were going to celebrate this all together in the studio tomorrow. This is supposed to be a big moment for all of us. So that does kind of bum me out for them, but the reception is still obviously out of this world, and people are very excited for this game that they've been working so hard on.
Yeah, really hard on.
Wow. GTA, dude.
GTA just gets us going. It gets us in the mood. This is Kinda Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday we get together to talk about the latest and greatest in video game news. Of course, you can get it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames or youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can also watch it later on YouTube or roosterteeth.com. If you want to get it as a podcast, search your favorite podcast service for Kinda Funny Games Daily, and we'll be right there for you. Today's stories include GTA 6 is real. There's so much to say about it. DC games don't have to be in the DCU anymore, and a whole bunch more. A little housekeeping for you, Andy Cortez. Our GTA 6 reaction is live now on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. It has an amazing set. Beautiful. Totally beautiful. You can watch it now, just like almost 100,000 people have done. Thank you all for hanging out with us to watch this. It's especially because it was last minute, people jumping in, and there was a lot of chaos. Really proud of us, though, to be able to just be like, let's go, and we made it happen. So that was a lot of fun.
I think what we also need to do, maybe, if Barrett has any time while we're discussing one of these topics, just to bring up, maybe to see Google Trends and what their search looked like in that moment when this thing finally happened. Like, it had to have, like, enough power had to have been consumed to, like, power several large countries.
100%. P.S. I Love You XOXO is live right now, and it's super special because Bless and Greg got to play The Last of Us 2 Remastered No Return mode and interview the devs. You can check it out on podcast services and youtube.com/kindafunnygames. I'm very jealous of them because we just watched the trailer for No Return that they dropped yesterday. Fantastic trailer, by the way.
Great trailer, yeah. Don't let GTA be the only trailer that dropped yesterday that everybody's paying attention to. I was pretty surprised by the look of it, by the vibe of it, the competitive aspect. You're not really competing with each other, but it just seems really cool to have all of these abilities and survivors you can choose from with all these cool costumes. It seems pretty neat, Tim.
Yeah, it really, really does. But you can check out the thoughts of Bless and Greg, who actually played it, over on PS I Love You. Arashi Castles of Sin Final Cut is out today, and we're doing a fun sponsored stream to show it off. You can watch Greg, Nick, and Joey take on the role of the deadly assassin and travel across feudal Japan to defeat the 6 Oni of Iga. It's VR's award-winning stealth action experience, and you can watch us play it today, right after KFGD. So right after this, there's no post-show. We're just going straight into it, putting Greg into a virtual world. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jackson Hampton and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Shady Rays and X-Reel, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's get into the Roper Report. It's time for some news. 4 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Story number 1, GTA 6. What's the headline? I don't know. You can pick or choose
it's
here.
There. It's
everything
here.
We know so far, because we know a lot more today, Andy, than we knew yesterday. We had a lot of assumptions. There were a lot of little bits and pieces leaked over the last couple of years, but actually seeing it crystallize in the trailer. How many times have you watched the trailer so far?
Oh, man. Well, I had to get home and watch it on the big screen several times. Around 10, I'd say.
I'm around 10 as well.
Yeah.
Which is impressive, you know? And in 4K. This one's a stunner.
Looks really damn
This
good.
one looks real great. In case you missed it, The trailer leaked yesterday. That's the news here. Kat Bailey at IGN reports, less than 24 hours before its anticipated debut, the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer appears to have leaked. The account was quickly suspended. We were there. We lived in the moment. Andy, I want to blame you, honestly, for parts of this, because you're the one that brought it to my attention. You ruined my day with this news.
Well, it was Nobel on Twitter, and then it was immediately, maybe 5-10 seconds later, Wario64 on Twitter retweeting the actual link, which told me to buy Bitcoin, BTC, and it sent us all into a panic.
Yeah.
It was pandemonium around here. And not knowing what to, especially because of the plans for tomorrow, right? Like everything, or today rather, everything being sort of jumbled around. We have a lot of things we need to do and shows we need to make, and that just kind of threw everything for a loop. And it was, yeah, again, I keep on saying, like, I just wish we had the Succession videographers and cinematographers in here kind of recording all of us, and the fast zoom ins on Tim and be like, I need a moment.
This is
It
so
was
funny, dude.
hilarious, dude.
But we got it done, and yeah, like that's the sad thing is, like, it leaked just so unceremoniously. You know what I mean? At like 4 p.m. Pacific time ish, maybe a little before then. No, a little before 3, I guess.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh man, and it was just such a bummer. Like, so close to this event that we've been building to, that like the world is excited for. And I mean, I gotta say, I was supremely bummed out about it leaking. Like, and there's a lot of conversations to be had about leaks and things of this nature. But I would just say personally yesterday, that was a major bummer. That, you know, my spirits were lifted being able to see it once they just dropped it, but it was still kind of like a damn, this could have been something real special, you know?
Yeah, especially being able to see whatever the live viewership would have been in that moment had it been all of that anticipation leading up to the 6 a.m. West Coast, 9 a.m. East Coast sort of time. I would have loved to have just seen whatever the numbers were in that waiting room, because they were already stacked when there was nothing. There was no live chat. There was how many millions? I've heard, or maybe it was just like 500,000, 50,000 or something like that.
There was 50,000 people, like, over 24 hours before the trailer was going to drop, just sitting on the YouTube chat. The YouTube chat was turned off.
Finding a way to hack into the YouTube backend. What happened.
And yeah, we still don't know exactly what has happened. So Rockstar then responded saying, our trailer's leaked, so please watch the real thing on YouTube. And then they just dropped it and put it out. We reacted to it, but in a nutshell, Rockstar says Grand Theft Auto 6 heads to the state of Leonida, we're not exactly sure yet, which is essentially Florida, home of the neon-soaked streets of Vice City, which is essentially Miami, and beyond, in the biggest, most immersive evolution of the Grand Theft Auto series yet. Coming in 2025, features 2 characters, Lucia and a man maybe played by Troy Baker. Maybe. It did sound like him.
One word.
Yeah.
But
the word was trust.
Yeah.
And that's a word that we know so well coming out of those lips.
Do we want to hear it again? Just
let's hear it.
Okay.
Trust.
Like, here's the thing I can definitively say. It's definitely not him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I also just think of Greg.
It's definitely
with the
in
trust
Troy's
backwards.
range.
I was thinking of Greg's trust backwards being spelled out. I do remember when Troy Baker was kind of, becoming more of a name in the scene. There were a lot of other voice actors that were kind of like, oh, hire Diet Troy Baker and that should be fine. And those actors always did a great job. But there's a lot of actors in that voice range, like Barrett was just mentioning, that I feel could fit that mold. But I think it'd be really cool if we just got to, play a Troy Baker or have him, be our husband.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Either way, it sounds good to me.
Beautiful, man. I'm
down.
down.
I don't think it's him, but I definitely think it could be. And I mean, obviously I'd be excited if it was, but I feel like, to your point, like that could be someone else. And like, my gut says it's not Troy Baker in a Grand Theft Auto game, but I don't know what my gut's doing.
My gut says it's Andy Cortez.
You would tell me, right?
You sure you want to go through with this, Ellie?
Give me a trust.
Trust.
Holy shit. It's Andy.
I'm telling you.
Whoa. Interestingly, it's not coming to PC at launch. Oh, sorry. Actually, Andy, Greg wanted me to have you read that.
You wrote this so that I could read this?
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, it's not coming to PC at launch, Rockstar says, Rockstar Games, the publishing label of Take-Two Interactive Software, is proud to announce that Grand Theft Auto is coming to PlayStation 5 computer entertainment systems and Xbox Series X and X games and entertainment systems in 2025. Greg comments, serves you right, you fucking PC losers. Ha, 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 ha. Like spreading out the ha's as if he's the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, he did ask for you to read that. But obviously the PC thing, conversation there to be had. But I want to take it a different direction. I want to take it into the world of PlayStation here because proud to announce Grand Theft Auto 6 coming to PlayStation 5 computer entertainment systems.
There's a plural there.
There's a plural there. And are we reading into this too much? 100%, because that still grammatically makes sense just talking about the PlayStation 5.
It works on the smaller
plural
one.
PlayStation 5s out there. Oh yeah, and you're right. There's the smaller one, which you know what? In real life, I'm really into it. Seeing the pictures, I was like, I don't like how this thing looks. Seeing in real life, I'm like, ooh.
Oh,
cutie.
really?
Yeah.
To me, seeing the PlayStation 5 Mini, just adding that little slot down the center, I was like, okay, this looks 1,000,000% better than it did.
It's really interesting. I warmed up to it in a way I didn't expect to. But I don't think that this wording is like hinting at any like future PlayStation systems. Although I am entirely convinced we're gonna get them around the.
It is weird they put
game.
the little wink emoji afterwards. It's kind of odd that they would include that.
But yeah, so the PC stuff. Like, I mean, let's just start here. Is this a surprise?
For me, it is because I feel like they have found a lot of success on the PC, especially with how popular all their role-playing stuff and how that's given GTA. I don't want to say a new life. I want maybe like a 10th or 11th life because GTA has gone through many different lives and many different successes. But I do think that Rockstar wants this game to launch with as little amount of problems as possible. And when you introduce a million different combinations of PC SKUs and processors with GPUs and motherboards with drivers and all that stuff, like, look, I love PC gaming. That's going to create a lot of issues. You're going to launch a game that's going to likely have, the sort of thing where it's like, well, it works fine on my PC. Like, I don't know what the fuck you all are talking about. Well, I can't get 13 frames per second, so something's wrong with this. I think they want to avoid that. Man, it makes sense. Like, they don't want that to dominate the conversation. How so many new games do launch, and then we come on here on Games Daily and say, people are pissed off because Jedi Survivor doesn't run.
I mean, real talk. Like, I think this is a conversation we're probably going to have over the next couple months as we do, retrospectives looking back at the year. Like, poor launches frame the reception of a game forever. Like, no matter how much you fix things and come back, like, especially, Cyberpunk is one thing, but Jedi Survivor is another where even within this office, there are people that the problematic tech side of it tarnish their experience so much that even when it's all fixed now, whatever, you go back to it, it's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's just like the conversation has already kind of like set in on what that game is. And that's because of the way that it launched. It's not because of the quality of the game itself, but at some point those things are intrinsically tied. Right. And like that, I think is when you look at it on the scale of a Grand Theft Auto, that is the scale of a Cyberpunk. And I mean, we've talked about this a lot recently, but it's wild that because GTA 6 is coming out so far after GTA 5 and GTA Online has come out in between those things, and we kind of associate GTA Online and 5 as the same thing because they are, but also they're not.
Right.
But because of that, what is Rockstar competing with GTA 6? Because to me, it simultaneously feels like Fortnite, Naughty Dog, and The Last of Us, and things like Cyberpunk.
Right.
In different ways, in how open it is, how multiplayer and living it is, and then we are pushing this forward, prestige, facial animation, storytelling, like cinematic gameplay stuff. That's a lot, man. And to your point, like, they got to get it right. And so limiting the systems it's on, I mean, inherently will help avoid what happened with Cyberpunk of, hey, it works great on PC, doesn't work well on consoles. And that's because they didn't have the time to tune all of those things at the same time.
I'd be very interested to hear what the conversations are going to be with Xbox regarding the Series S, because this game looks far and away more advanced than anything that we've seen in terms of all of the hair physics on all of the models we're seeing, and that woman who like flips her hair, the women hanging out of the cars with their hair flowing, like all that stuff that's a lot of like physics simulations happening on the screen. And there's a good chance that, similar to when I'm playing Resident Evil 4 Remake on PC, and you have the ability to turn on the super high-tech hair tech for Leon's hair, beautiful hair, gorgeous man. And I see a lot of those things being sort of scaled down, similarly to when people were talking about, well, we can't really get a co-op shared screen experience, couch co-op stuff for Baldur's Gate 3 working. What are some concessions we can make? Can we work with Xbox to make it so that that doesn't have to work on the Series S? It's going to be super interesting, dude.
It is, to the point that, like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a scientist. I'm not many things, Andy.
But you got a great coat.
Thank you very much. Thank you. But when I look at how this game is going to end up, I got so distracted. I don't even remember what I was saying.
You got excited about the coat.
I did.
You got excited about the coat thing.
Got the fucking coat. That's how loud it is. I can't even hear myself think, Andy.
I mean,
okay. I remember what I was saying here. I don't understand the requirements of saying things like this. Of, like, why they even say what systems it's coming out on if they didn't need to do that yet, unless they know that they're trying to. Unless this is a thing of they were putting PlayStation and Xbox is like, well, no. With our partnerships, you're putting ours too, and we're requiring you to put both. Because, like, it just seems like, jumping ahead to my point, I don't think this is going to come out on the S. I think there's going to be something that they're like, it's not playable on the S, or there's going to be major concessions made to, like, that are going to piss people off, but they're just be like, it is what it is.
That would make the most sense. I think that would be the smartest call, is to have the S be a significantly powered down version of it. Hopefully not to the degree that we saw Arkham Knight running on Switch, where those up-close animations and the up-close models look dreadful, right? But there's going to have to be a lot of changes made. They can't keep the same... They can't just have one Xbox SKU work on both Xboxes. Like, obviously, you're going to have one console with more power capabilities, with higher GPU capabilities. I still am just kind of bummed about the no PC thing. Everything that I've just said, I get it. It makes sense. It's the right logical call for your business and for not having, like, a super scuffed launch. But this game also just looks like the most technically advanced thing we'll see for quite some time. And I want to play that on my massively powered PC, right? Like, I feel like I don't want to watch Oppenheimer on my cell phone. You know what I mean? Oh, man, console people are going to get mad at me for that. But you know what I mean? Like, I have this expensive machine because I want these premium experiences. And so that is kind of a bummer. Somebody just walked into the doorway right now.
With the dumbest smile on his face.
With the... Jesus Christ. Why do you put the smoke machine? Yeah, don't smoke machine him. He's just eating an apple, I think. I'm not sure. Got this Sasquatch walking behind me.
Just enjoying the show.
I have to mind you. I can't ignore you. You are a presence wearing a Windows XP shirt.
Eating an
sweater,
apple,
by the way.
There's some, like, must be significance to that.
Is that the glory days of your PC gaming?
But yeah, it is interesting though. It's like to make this thing launch correctly, whatever that even means, right? Because we were talking about this yesterday about, like, is it going to be 60 frames per second? I doubt it. Like, I highly doubt it. I think it's going to be 30 and very beautiful.
I think it will be on whatever Pro that you were mentioning.
Yes.
I feel like that is that feels like a given almost in the way that that we've seen, technically advanced games coming out for Switch, and we know that, that's going to be a lot better on the Switch Pro. Man. Yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But that's, like, to my point about the Series S, right? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know that it's not going to come out on S. There's going to be some tomfoolery. There's going to be news stories that people are upset about that might be similar to the Baldur's Gate thing, but there's going to be issues, and the Series S is going to have to be addressed.
Right.
They're probably going to end up getting this game running on the Series S, but it's not going to be... Look, Rockstar are fantastic, and they have proven that they get things right. They always get things right. They don't always get things right. Remember the trilogy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know it's very different. I know it's an incredibly different thing. Series S, though.
But they also kind of had to oversee what was happening with that trilogy, right? But again, I'm hoping that is one of the lessons learned by them, that we cannot do this again. What does suck is, like, I feel like that eventually, they kind of mentioned that put the remaster or remake or whatever for Red Dead 2, Red Dead 1 on hold. And it's like, well, don't blame like you can't blame one on the other. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be super interesting to see exactly what decisions are made. I'm going to guess right now 1080p 30 for Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, something I did last night after watching the trailer for the 10th time is I was like, man, I'm in the Vice City mood. Like I want to play some Vice City, but I didn't have. I was upstairs, so I was like,
such a loud crunch into that apple.
So many crunches.
Aren't you done with the apple? How much more is it to crunch into? Did you bring 3 apples up here? Jesus Christ!
Another apples out of his fucking pockets. But I was like, maybe I want to give Vice City a start, like just play through it or whatever. And I pulled up a YouTube video. Barrett, if you could just go to YouTube and pull up Vice City long play, and then just go to. What do you think Vice City looks like in your mind?
Oh, I remember. Oh, I remember.
Like, I remember what it looks like.
Yeah.
But especially after watching yesterday's trailer and then looking at Vice City, I'm just like, this might as well be Mario 64.
I mean,
there's just nobody on the streets.
Every character's hands are the size of a goddamn
fucking Donkey Kong motherfuckers.
They all got Buster Cannons for hands, man.
It's so funny, but like. I mean, okay, the scroll so you're like in the street.
One thing that does kind of make it more ageless for me is the stylized character.
For sure.
If they would have gone for realism, then it would have looked even worse. But yeah, you're gonna have 4 people maximum running around on the screen.
It's
and this is definitely the remaster. Like this is this is a port or whatever. But
but it's just so funny, like getting on a motorcycle, like the way the camera looks when you're driving on the streets. It's just like. It's just so empty. It's amazing.
So nostalgic.
But it's just like, but then looking at what we have now, it's like, oh shit. Like imagine this gameplay, but with how that looked yesterday.
Come on, feel the noise. Just riding down in my yellow Camaro.
Oh yeah, I was a motorcycle boy.
Yeah, I mean, I would swap it up definitely, especially when you're like. There's those couple of ramps near the nightclub that I would always just like try to make like the coolest jumps, slow-mo with the music playing.
Oh my God, the garage, dude.
Nothing cooler, dude.
Come on.
Nothing
But it's
cooler.
even funny, like I was watching gameplay of our boy Tommy V just kind of walking around, and even just like the walk cycles are like so funny.
They were all very cartoony, yeah
it's
super
just
stylized.
So funny. But.
Yesterday when I was mentioning how I wanted to see Rockstar and all of these amazingly talented devs, I'd love to find out what the budget of this game is at the end of the day. But when we talk about all these amazing devs and all the money that they have and that they could pour into research and development for tech for this video game, not necessarily gameplay innovations I'd like to see, but the detailed innovations I'd like to see when we're talking about how Red Dead 2 came out or Red Dead Redemption 2 rather. And the horse's balls. The horse's balls will get smaller.
I knew he was going to say it.
The horse balls will get smaller in the winter or in cold weather. What are those? Is it all just going to be ball tech from here on out, or like what else are we going to see push the envelope into like
booty tech?
I don't want to go to a gas station and gas up my car, but I want to see other people gassing up their car and leaving. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be too simulated in the way that Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of felt like a
GTA
tour
San
at times.
Andreas?
Huh?
GTA San Andreas?
Well, I mean,
RPG stuff lost me, man.
I hated the eating. Yeah, I hated the whole like gym aspect and like or gaining weight to be more tanky or whatever.
We were dumb little kids. Do you think we'd like it now?
No. I don't.
If they revamped it, like if they made it like because I'm with you. I'm more of an arcadey, fun, chaos type of guy. But if GTA 6 was more fully featured RPG-esque and they like went for that, would you be interested in that?
I think so now with a different lens on it, but I think coming from Vice City, I was excited to just have a new setting and a new character and cast of hilarious people that I can run around with and just like shoot up people with. An awful out of context sentence. But adding those RPG elements in there, I was like, this isn't what I want. And maybe they were largely ignorable. I don't remember that back in the day. I just remember playing for like 10 or 15 hours and be like, okay, I don't really want this, you know?
No, yeah, no.
But the game, the sort of, again, those detailed aspects of it that I'm looking for, planes coming down and landing, people maybe deplaning from the plane, airports, insides of buildings that can really show off how detailed the type of shit where you walk in and you're like, dude, the wine glass breaks when it hits the ground, but the plastic bottle bounces and fizzes up. And if I shoot the plastic bottle, then the soda shoots out. You know what I mean? Like that's
Metal Gear Solid 2 shit, but just like turned up.
In 2023, right?
Yeah.
Like those are the type of things that I'm
5.
looking for, that I want to be extremely impressed by, and I think that they're going to deliver, because we've seen them deliver on all sorts of little tiny things like that in the past, especially with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. Did you know that GTA 5's not on the Switch?
Wow.
Yeah.
I had never considered that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, the Switch to me is just always the Nintendo machine.
Yeah, but like you would just, Chinatown Stories came out on the DS, and yeah, it's everywhere, and it sold so many copies, and like, it's like
Think of
pretty
how
much
many more on the Switch.
Think of that player base.
Like,
dude.
think about that, right? Think about like when we talk about sales stories of video games, it's Grand Theft Auto or it's Nintendo. You know what I mean? Or maybe a PlayStation exclusive. So it's like
Nintendo
people doubting in the chat if it could run. I mean, that game came out on the 360 and the PS3.
And even if it can't run, that won't stop them from putting something out on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But Nintendo doesn't want GTA 5 on their storefront next to goddamn Kirby. You know what I mean?
I don't like
I guess they got
Bioshock
anime porn games on their thing too.
Yeah, they got the GTA trilogy on the Switch.
Dark Souls is on Switch.
Yeah,
Good
next to
experience.
Kirby.
A good experience. Kirby's over there trying to become the Ashen one.
So what does this mean for you in this new GTA 6 world? GTA 6 trailer already has more views than Cyberpunk, Red Dead 2, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom reveals combined. Combined, Andy. Combined.
Is that affected by live viewers? Somebody refreshing their page. Because it was a premiere, right? Technically, it was a YouTube premiere.
No.
Well, it was going to be a YouTube premiere, but I think
ended up not being
they
one, I don't
ended
think.
up just dropping it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's still wildly impressive. Why am I acting like I'm trying to add a
I
caveat
mean,
to
still
this?
wildly impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, before even getting into the story, I'll get
And
into
these
it.
trailers have been out for years.
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto is huge. That's no surprise. Sorry, this comes from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN.
Thank you, Ryan.
But Rockstar Games' GTA 6 trailer has surpassed 69.2
Nice.
million views within 15 hours, meaning it's already been watched more than the reveal trailers for the aforementioned games. The highly anticipated debut trailer, you already know all this stuff. While 69.2 million is a lot of views under any metric, it's even more impressive and almost unbelievable when compared to some of the biggest video game releases of the last 5 years. Cyberpunk 2077, for example, the futuristic open-world role-playing game from beloved developer CD Projekt Red, has 28.6 million views on its initial teaser trailer. That's wild to think about. But what's crazy to me is Mr. Beast tweeted today, who recently just broke the record for most views in a single day. He just got beat by this.
Oh, right. I think how many millions of likes does it have as well? Like,
I don't know about the likes.
it broke the likes record as well on YouTube.
Darren Bonthus at GameSpot chimes in and says, as spotted by Discussing Film, the GTA 6 trailer has broken the record for the most views in 24 hours on a non-music YouTube video. At the time of writing, the trailer has amassed almost 70 million views. If Rockstar is looking to break the record for most views in 24 hours overall, it still has a long way to go to topple Korean band BTS and the 108 million views that it achieved in a single day for its Butter music video. On Twitter, the tweet announcing that a trailer was on the way now sits with over 2 million likes, making it the most liked gaming tweet of all time. Wow. Big numbers.
I mean, again, the only thing I feel like keeping Grand Theft Auto outside of the like household name kind of realm is a singular protagonist in the way that Mario and Link and Zelda, like characters like that kind of stand the test of time. And ask any grandma and grandparent or just parent at home, they'll likely know who the hell Mario is, right? There's not a whole lot that you could say about GTA characters, but Grand Theft Auto is the name that kind of carries all of that weight.
Yeah.
Again, this is just one of those titles that it just surpasses the gaming sphere. It's not just gaming Twitter and all of your favorite personalities that love to tweet about their gaming experiences. This far surpasses anything else that we've ever seen in gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to keep talking a little bit more about GTA 6, but we're going to do that right after a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Xreal. Turn any game you're playing from any console, PC, or handheld into a 130-inch virtual big screen with Xreal AR glasses. Available now at xreal.com and Amazon. Xreal AR glasses usher in the era of wearable displays and are perfect for gaming, watching movies and TV, working at a desk, or checking out augmented reality apps. Xreal AR glasses connect to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, plug directly into your Steam Deck, ROG Ally, PCs, Macs, iPhone, Android. You see where I'm going with this. Our very own Kevin Coelho has been playing with the new Xreal Air 2 glasses, and unsurprisingly, he is absolutely obsessed with them.
It's awesome.
It's the big screen experience, perfect for using on the go or at home for playing games anywhere on the biggest screen possible. The picture you see is crisp. The built-in speakers give you rich audio. The glasses are lightweight, only 2.5 ounces. And because you control where the virtual screen appears, you can rest your head, neck, and shoulders comfortably without getting any of that tech neck you get when you're staring down at the screen. You can get your Xreal AR glasses now at xreal.com or Amazon. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. 'Tis the season of giving. Get the perfect gift for a special someone, yourself, or both. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades and quick swap snow goggles that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. And that's not all. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out a very merry deal for the season. You can go to shadyrays.com, use code KindaFunny for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people by going to shadyrays.com, using code KindaFunny, and you'll get 50% off for 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. In the Twitch chat right now, Real Rob Rose says, everybody in here is too much in the video game bubble. This trailer is so much bigger than Fortnite or Call of Duty. The president is going to see this trailer. The people running for president have probably already seen this trailer.
They know what to warn the country about. Yeah.
Florida. It's Florida.
Yeah.
That's very, very, very funny.
It's like when Biden saw Mission Impossible, he's like, oh man, AI. Like the next president's going to play GTA 6 and be like, oh man, Florida. Gotta do something about it.
So Killian writes in, just like you can, at kindafunny.com/KFGD. The GTA 6 trailer is finally released and it looks great. The question now is, when do we hear about this game again? Will Rockstar drip feed information similar to what they did with 5? And when do you think the next trailer will drop?
It's December. I'm going to assume the next time we hear something is Summer Game Fest. Around that time. Not like at a Summer Game Fest. I think just around gaming news time.
Yeah.
We'll get... Now, the question for me is, like, is it going to be another cinematic, here's our world, or is it going to be, in Grand Theft Auto 6,
yeah,
your balls get smaller in the winter, you know?
And the horse from Red Dead, he's showing up.
Yeah, larger in the summer.
Exactly, in Florida, man. Those things are huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because 2025 is vague. We were talking about this yesterday, but when you piece together old quotes about their fiscal years and financial expectations, it does seem likely that they're going to be aiming for Q1 2025, just because they're saying that they expect a spike during the fiscal year that coincides with ending in end of March of 2025. So with that being the potential plan that they have, we all talked yesterday, we kind of expect that not to happen, like that maybe the game won't officially be delayed, because I don't think that they're going to put the date out until it's ready. Me and you specifically were kind of projecting a May, June release 2025 for this game. So with that in mind, with that as being what I expect, I think it might be a little post the Summer Game Fest era, closer to like maybe like a August or a September. And then I think that the marketing is going to just be an all-out assault
blitz
from then on. Like I don't think it's going to be like here's a big trailer, and then like I think it's going to be kind of like Cyberpunk. where there was that turning point where, and here's the Night City Wire or whatever it was. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And like all that stuff. And it felt like there was like so much to talk about Cyberpunk, and it was like so exciting, and like there was just so much, you know? I think it's going to be like that. And I think that we're not going to hear about it for a while after this, I'd imagine. At least not in any real way. But I do think there will be like a lot of tidbits dropping. I think there's going to be a lot of interviews like now that the trailer's out, and I think we're going to get a lot more information on. We'll probably get like info on stats and info on size and info on like how the game's going to work a little bit more, just from
some
like
exclusive interviews,
things like that. And I imagine
Game
that
Informer
will
have an exclusive on it. And
exactly. Well, the Game Informer, I imagine that's further down. That might be the August thing, right? But I think that we'll just get like a sentence here, a sentence there. There'll be many Games Daily headlines that are involving GTA 6 over the next year.
Going back to like how they kind of paced out GTA 5 trailers. That first reveal trailer, which is similar, I think, to like just like a tone setter, like the GTA 6 one, was November 11th, 2011, and then trailer number 2 was early November 2012. And so if they're trying to hit 2025 here, yeah, I would say like I'm along the lines with you, Tim. The second trailer, if we get anything, would be somewhere in late summer next year, and if they're trying to hit that first half of 2025, I would expect like a 5-minute breakdown gameplay video like they did for 5 at the very beginning of 2025.
I have a feeling that this game is almost in that Tears of the Kingdom realm where the last year of it will be polished.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling like that they're that far along, and this game has been being worked on for quite some time, that it maybe like core stuff is largely finished, and a lot of it is just like tightening up systems, tightening up simulation type things.
I mean, this is so unfounded, but I'm so with you. I get the feeling that for all intents and purposes, we're at that moment now. Like, I don't know that, and I'm probably wrong, but my gut tells me the reason they announced this now is that they're at that point where they're like, we're confident on getting this thing out. It is just about those tweaks and stuff, because I do think that, let me actually bring a reader mail question into here. We have Pantito Bandito saying, hey, KFGD crew. My question's one I'm sure has been discussed before, but with GTA 6 release date confirmed for 2025, bar any delays, this will be released 7 years after Red Dead 2. As it is now, Rockstar, Bethesda, BioWare, CD Projekt Red, to name a few, are inherently stuck for the next decade and beyond, creating one of 2 IPs in their arsenal for a game that will take a player at most a couple weeks to complete, if they even decide to finish it. How does a company decide to spend most of a decade developing a single game when a smaller, more concise version of the same game could likely yield the same profits? Do developers want to spend that much time on a single game? Obviously, you can't apply this to every single game. Every single one's different. But with a lot of the different teams and games that you mentioned there's profit there beyond just a normal video game, right? And beyond the campaign, especially, obviously, with something like a Grand Theft Auto. This is way more of a platform than any of the other ones we even talked about here with Bethesda or BioWare, CD Projekt Red. But even having said that, look at Cyberpunk the last couple of years. Look at how much they've been able to kind of reinvent that game. And with Phantom Liberty just coming out, like restoking the energy in a major way, on top of all the IP stuff with the anime on Netflix and things like that. But I think it's an investment, and I don't think every game can be that. And I think that if it was, and in a lot of ways we are moving towards that. Like, let's look at PlayStation Studios right now. There's a reason we don't know what a lot of the teams are working on, because they released a lot of games in the last couple of years, and then it's like, hey, they're working on the next one. It's going to be a while, It's
going to be 4-5 years, yeah. Especially for the larger titles.
Totally. So I taking this and like applying it back to GTA, it's like I think that they're probably at a point now that they need to put a endpoint. I think that they called their shot as a way of being like, hey, we're confident we'll be able to get it done. We're in the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom kind of like refining mode, but you could refine forever unless you're like, no, we're calling it here. So I think that dropping the trailer yesterday was them shooting their shot at that.
I think you're likely correct. I don't know. I think with a company like Rockstar, when Pantito Bandito is mentioning when a smaller game and a more concise version of the same game would likely yield the same profits, I think that with Rockstar, one thing that I am happy about is that this game does not look phoned in any way, and they could have likely done that. Like Bandito is mentioning, when you have a name like that, you can drop something that people are still going to gravitate towards, but you also know that you have this legacy and this prestige of being more than the video games industry, right? And yeah, you're right. You have to build a platform because GTA 6 Online is going to last for the next 10 years. And that also kind of makes me think about why it's smart to not release on PC at launch, is that it feels like you give the game a second life.
Yeah.
When all of the internet is talking about, holy shit, Grand Theft Auto 6 just broke the all-time concurrent Steam players record. Like a lot of other games have done in the past, where suddenly this game comes out. It's like having a second release almost. And console players, it's a good chance they buy it again on PC or whatever. And they buy into the modding, and they buy into that sort of community where it goes beyond just what the single player aspect of the video game is. But yeah, you have to. This is Rockstar making another platform for the next decade and beyond.
Yeah. And that is, I think, the most important thing for this game to do, because we see it with GTA 5. GTA Online is an entire amazing system that millions of people are loving every single day, that is built on a system from 2013 that was not prepared for what it would then eventually become. And I think that now they're able to build a system that is prepared, it is at least more understanding of what multiplayer internet gaming looks like today, because we didn't know back then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, things have changed so massively. So enough about GTA for now. I'm sure we'll talk so much more about it. Moving on to story number 2 here. DC games don't have to be in the DCU.
No, I'm kidding.
This comes from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Not every incoming DC video game will be canon to the new DCU, which kicks off in 2025 with Superman Legacy and Creature Commandos. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn previously revealed the DCU will incorporate other media, including video games, but it turns out everything developed within the world of DC, not everything, will have to be canon. Threads user Henvratskis asked if it was a requirement for all incoming Warner Brothers game titles to be in the same DC film universe from now on, to which Gunn simply replied, no. This is perhaps unsurprising to some fans, given DC's other practices, while the DCU will be a shared universe between 5 films and 5 TV shows so far. For example, several other film and TV shows are still being developed, such as Batman Caped Crusader and Merry Little Batman. This not being a requirement for games also frees up the likes of Rocksteady's Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Monolith Productions' Wonder Woman to exist in their own space without crossing messy lines with the DCU.
Not surprising.
Not surprising. I just wish that there was a bit more care put into the words used by these studio heads when it comes to this type of stuff, because I know that they don't want to say too much or say the wrong things, but then I feel like oftentimes they just end up doing just that by omitting things or by just over saying things, because he said it was going to, and now it's not. And it's like, I know things change, but it just almost feels like for these type of announcements, like especially when you're talking about something as volatile as the DC universe of movies and even the DC universe of games, when you look at what Rocksteady is about to put out right now, and with Gotham Knights and all of that, I just want a little bit more feeling like I trust that they're in control. I guess that's what it is. With all the bad news from Warner Brothers and all of that, it's like, this doesn't instill me with faith. It's probably the right answer, though.
I think it's definitely the right answer. I think initially maybe Gunn was a lot more optimistic about what tie-ins could happen or what tie-ins could exist within the DCU, but then I think realism set in, and you have to kind of be realistic with your expectations. I do love Gunn's transparency, though. Like, I've always been a fan of that. It reminds me, James Gunn is like Phil Spencer to me, where people will tweet at Phil and he will reply yes or no. And that's very, very rare. And where on the other side, Feige would never do this. Feige would never answer a fan online tweeting at them or hitting them up on Threads. So I love the transparency there. And I also do think that this is the right call, though. Like, I think it seems like it's impossible given the timeline of how long it takes to make a video game.
Yeah.
If you want to make something gigantic and something that's going to be a blockbuster title, you don't want it to come out 3 years after the movie came out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's definitely the right call. And I guess we'll wait to hear more about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League whenever that news is ready.
Whatever that news is ready. I mean, Andy, the game comes out in like 2 months.
Yeah, but I mean like previews and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha. Because, I mean, yeah, we were literally almost to the day 2 months away from this game coming out.
Less than 2 months.
We're real close to Avatar as well.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Avatar like this week.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah, Avatar is it in 2 days?
Yeah.
I think
Is it
so.
today?
No, I think it's Friday.
No.
I think it's Friday.
Wow. I'm excited for that.
Crazy.
Story number 3, Starfield gonna Skyrim? Question mark. This comes from Haley Williams at GameSpot. I'm very interested
From
in what
Paramore?
this means. Yeah, exactly. Xbox is celebrating a new milestone for Starfield after Phil Spencer announced it's now seen over 12 million total players in the 3 months since launch. The Xbox head also talked about the future of the space exploration epic, comparing Bethesda's ambitions for the game to Skyrim's extended life cycle. Speaking at CCXP in Brazil, as picked up by IGN, Spencer celebrated... I wonder why they were there. Spencer celebrated Starfield's success since launch. Starfield has now had over 12 million players since the launch of Starfield, and it still sits in our top 10 most played games from our studios. When asked if Spencer could see Starfield having a similar lifespan to Skyrim, the Bethesda RPG that is still popular with fans 12 years after its release, he said, "That's our goal." Spencer added that Todd Howard and the team at Bethesda hope that Starfield can be a similar experience to Skyrim for people who love space and space exploration. That's you. And
That's me. I love that. I love space.
so quote, so we've already announced that we've got our next expansion coming, Shattered Space.
Cool. I mean, come on.
We've already told the community that they'll get all the mod tools so that they can go create their own content in Starfield, which has been so important for Skyrim. So a ton of confidence that for many, many years, Starfield will be sitting high in the gameplay.
Once again,
Cool.
wanting to make a platform for the future.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. And I like that they are kind of admitting that we are going to be more involved in that I feel like that makes things feel more official rather than, it can be kind of daunting for an outsider to come in and go, wait, what mods do I need to download? Wait, there's a new thing that expands the story and gives me like new NPC interactions. How do I get that? I feel like when things are kind of partnered up with Xbox, it feels a bit more official. I know that there's probably going to be some worry with maybe Xbox meddling with whatever these sort of mods may be, but I'd say don't worry about those then. Just go with whatever else everybody is making.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Are you excited for this Shattered Space?
Oh, I am worried because I never like fully rolled credits on it. I just got to a point where I knew what the future was going to be because I spoiled myself and watched Greg's awesome video on it, chronicling his adventures. And then I decided right before in game, like I'm just gonna be a little space cowboy. So I'm wondering if it's gonna require an end game finish.
I doubt it. Right? Like I feel like it's the type of game or type of like game and just expansion that they'd want to give kind of a second life and bring people back. And like I think that they'd expect. I mean, they have the data. I doubt the majority of people beat Starfield that started Starfield.
Right.
I do feel like as well with the Fallout 4 DLC, I don't think that was required to beat the campaign for Fallout 4. But I don't know if they're in a different headspace of, especially with what they're doing with all of that for Starfield. It'll be interesting to see.
Pretty excited to see maybe if Bethesda goes for the cyberpunk approach where we are consistently we're going to address issues that maybe you've had about the game since launch. How long will this be in development for, right? I know the game's already out and people want the finished product at launch, but that just feels like a more of a rarity nowadays. So I'd like to see like in maybe 2 years from now, there's still something coming out officially from Bethesda where they say, hey, guess what? Now the NPCs do this and that. And maybe, in the way that Cyberpunk made police act more like police do in the Cyberpunk world several years after the game launches,
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see for Shattered Space, man. Fires of Rubicon.
A lot of cool words.
Story number 4, PlayStation Access Controller Review Roundup. This comes from Dynamic Reactions at GameSpot, saying the world of adaptive controllers can often feel expensive and overly complicated for a player with disabilities. Paying $100+ for a base controller and then an extra $80+ for extensions that you're not sure will work for you feels intimidating and, at the end of the day, like a significant investment for something that may not provide the ideal experience. However, adaptive, ergonomically designed and affordable equipment is a hole in the market that Sony is now attempting to fill with the Access controller. After using it for a week in my own setup and with a variety of games, it is a significant first step towards an accessible controller for the PS5 and something that the industry can learn from. At IGN, they gave it a 7, Grant Stoner, saying, for the first time since 2019, I can finally resume trophy hunting and play some of the most accessible PlayStation games. However, while I genuinely enjoyed the Access controller and am thoroughly impressed by the software that powers it and enables options like turning buttons into toggles and on-the-fly profile swapping, I'm left disappointed by the somewhat narrow target audience for this controller. Rather than design a device for physically disabled players with limited reach or atrophied hands, PlayStation instead seems to focus on individuals who can either move their arms or extend their hands across the entire controller and push buttons with a high level of strength. If anything, the Access controller is proof that the disabled experience is not universal. Will this device benefit every physically disabled player? No, but it's a necessary tool. Hopefully, future iterations will include more ports. And then Vivek Gohil at Eurogamer says, overall, it's clear that great care has been taken to improve PlayStation's previous lack of hardware accessibility, and this is a giant step forward for the company. The Access controller software is the real star of the show here, and the level of customization available is impressive. It allows disabled gamers the chance to experience PlayStation games without unnecessary barriers. Whilst the controller has multiple positives, though, it also has limitations, and if you require a full controller without using the DualSense, then you'll need to purchase a pair of devices. Gamers will still have limited functionality if they cannot hold a DualSense controller, if they find the button resistance too high, if they require more than 4 external peripherals, or want to utilize haptics or the touchpad. So, sounds like it is a great product, but just a step towards
decent start.
A decent start, a decent continuation, I would say, of a trend towards investing in something that is so important to the gaming community out there. So,
and with all the strides that they've made in accessibility since the very start of trying to make games just playable for a multitude of different people, I think that they will take all this feedback and, you know, jot it down and iterate and make something better next time, or make extra accessories, or not necessarily just iterate on the same product, but maybe they're, you know, like they were mentioning, you know, disabilities aren't just so it isn't just one little category of people. There's a lot of different things you have to keep in mind for. So it does seem like maybe in the future we'll see
multiple
peripherals,
products.
multiple
Absolutely.
versions and things like that. I think that's great.
I would expect that at this point. And I do feel like what I would love to see is some level of standardization, but across everybody, where it's like almost a requirement, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we're far from that, but I don't know. I'm hopeful that we're moving towards it. Hopefully that day is not so far away. But if I want to know what's coming to mom and grop shops today, Andy, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Today we got Crime Boss for Arcade City Update 6.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Someone call Mike.
Skater XL
I thought they were
on
gonna.
Switch.
I thought they were gonna call it like great themes all around 6, and it would just be GTA 6. Like,
Yeah.
kind of just nailed down. Like that would be a great way to capitalize on this.
Totally. Skater XL on Switch. Disney Dreamlight Valley, A Rift in Time. Cyberpunk 2077 Update 2.1. Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration Holiday Content Update. Arashi, Castles of Sin, Final Cut Quest. Final Cut coming to Quest. PC VR. That must be PS. PSVR and PSVR 2. And we're doing the stream right after this, so you can check that out. Fallout 76 Season 15 Atlantic City. A lot of updates, a lot of seasons, a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with seasons is they just get out of control so fast. Like Season 15, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They-
But, like, there's no solution to that.
They made 12 seasons of Young Sheldon. How?
Well, that's
Like,
it. That's, I'm talking about for video game updates, but you bring up a good point. Deals of the day for you. GameSpot says, following their reveal last month, Sony has released the next batch of free games for PlayStation Plus subscribers. December's PlayStation Plus lineup includes Lego 2K Drive, Power Wash Simulator, and Sable. All three freebies. Three freebies is hard to say.
Freebies.
All three freebies are available to claim from now until January 2nd. Very cool. Very cool. Real quick, just want to give a shout out. We mentioned at the top of the show, but a Lucid Dream writes in and says, as far as trailers go, I know that GTA 6 is going to get all the love today, but I wanted to mention just how awesome the trailer is for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered's new mode, No Return. Every sound effect from a reload to a gunshot to a punch is perfectly in sync with the thumping music, and it looks like a lot of fun. Just a very well executed trailer, and it's one of the best I've recently seen. Side note, it's a shame there's no multiplayer in this mode.
I've been saying, man. I've been saying. But yeah, I do agree. This is a very well choreographed trailer with sound and music, and it just makes whatever this experience is look not dreadful and cool as hell. You know what I mean?
I love it, man. Like this trailer, it was awesome. It's just so well edited, so well produced, and it also just shows the game off. And like at a time that we're getting super hyped looking at GTA 6, like, goddamn, how does this look this good? It's nice to see Last of Us Part 2 and be reminded of like, oh man,
yeah,
we are spoiled as gamers.
Pretty good
like,
video game.
It's just absolutely beautiful. And what a great trailer too of like going through the timeline and then having to return back. Like, y'all did it, Naughty Dog. Good job.
As a reminder, Greg and Bless got to play a few hours of No Return, and they break it all down on today's PS I Love You XOXO. So if you think this looks rad as hell, learn more about it over there.
Go check that out. Let's look at kindafunny.com/you're wrong. See what we got wrong here.
Nothing. No shot.
Yeah, this is definitely editorializing, but I'm just going to throw it in there because I find it interesting. Dakeside says, hi, guys. Apparently, the supposed voice actor is not Troy Baker, but apparently it's Brian Zampella. He's teased himself with GTA 6 stuff for a while now on Instagram and other social media outlets. So, I don't know. But, I don't know.
Maybe Brian's just in the game or something else.
And then Mr. Pedro Rocks says, yesterday, Tim, you asked if you could play as Optimus Prime in Fortnite. Sadly, you can't because he was a Battle Pass skin, but you can get Bumblebee and Megatron and the Battle Bus as a Transformer. Well, that's bullshit. But also, though, so still, if you got Optimus during that Battle Pass, you could still play as Optimus now, right?
If you had it, yeah, absolutely.
That's so cool. Like, I'm just so impressed that, like, so far, with very rare exception, there hasn't been, like, all right, like, we're taking them out of the game because of licensing reasons or whatever. And, like, at some point, that'll have to happen. But it's impressive that it hasn't yet.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's also shocking that many textures being loaded at the same time. It's still functional.
So many textures. This week's host, we got Bless and me tomorrow. We got Thursday, a very special show at noon Pacific time. So 2 hours later than we normally do the show. It'll be me and Andy.
Oh, really?
Doing a Games Daily to prep for Game Awards, Andy.
Oh, wow. You're right.
That's this Thursday.
Oh, my God. That's this Thursday. GTA threw everything off for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is in a tizzy right now. But yeah, we'll be live at noon, and we're just going to be live all the way through the Game Awards. So we're going to be doing Games Daily, and then after that, a little post-show action. After that, they'll be streaming some stuff, and then we'll get the pre-show going for, I think the plan, if I remember correctly, is hitting at like 4 p.m., get the pre-show for the Kinda Funny pre-show for Game Awards, us all hanging out, having a good time. Then we'll cover the actual pre-show of the Game Awards, and then the Game Awards themselves.
Will there be Pizza Hut? We'll see.
No one else Pizza Hut, everybody. Because I think it's just me, you, and Mike. So
yeah.
Oh, is Mike a Pizza Hut guy?
And he's gonna have to be. He's gonna have to learn to be.
Of course.
He'll figure it out. Well, I love you all. Oh, Friday is Mike and me. It's gonna be great.
Ooh.
That's gonna be great. A little fun Friday delight. But until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.